There are 7 ways a website knows it's you the moment you open incognito mode. Most people don't know any of them. By the end of this video, you'll know all 7. Plus, the 5 defenses that actually work, and of course the one mistake almost everyone makes that defeats all 5 defenses at once. Incognito mode does one thing well: it hides what you do from the people who share your computer. That's it. To every website you visit, you are exactly as identifiable as you were before you opened that little private tab. Often more identifiable. Because most people think incognito is invisible, so they do things in incognito they would never do otherwise. The websites notice, they know it's you. So how do they know it's you? Method 1, your IP address. It's the obvious one. The one most people guess first. Every time your computer loads a web page, it sends a packet to the server. Your IP address sits in the header of every packet, even in incognito. Incognito doesn't touch the network, it only touches the browser. Your IP address is your home address on the internet. It belongs to you and only you, at least until your internet provider rotates it, which on a residential connection usually happens every few weeks. The IP tells the website what country you're in, what city, sometimes what neighborhood. Combined with the other 6 methods coming, the IP is rarely the thing that uniquely identifies you, but it's the thing that lets a website confirm what the other 6 methods already suspect. That's method 1, the simplest. Some viewers will roll their eyes and say everyone knows this. Good. Because the next 6 are where almost everyone gets blindsided. Method 2, browser fingerprinting. Open cover your tracks.ef.org. Not right now. Finish the video first. This is the demo. You go to that URL, the Electronic Frontier Foundation runs a test on your browser, and within about 10 seconds it tells you something most people don't believe until they see it. Your browser is unique. Not pretty unique, not unusual, unique, as in the EFF's database of millions of browsers, yours is one of one. How crazy is that? The tool checks a list of things every website can see automatically. Your browser name, your browser version, your operating system, your screen resolution, your color depth, your time zone, your language settings, the list of fonts installed on your machine, the list of browser extensions you have running. Each of these is low information on its own. Plenty of people share your screen resolution. Many people share your operating system. But the combination of all of them together is almost always unique. The EFF's data shows that around 84% of browsers have a fingerprint that exists nowhere else in their database. 84% of viewers watching this video right now are uniquely identifiable from their browser alone, without cookies, without an account, in incognito mode. That's the foundation. Methods 3 through 6 are how it gets really creepy. Method number 3, canvas fingerprinting. In May of 2012, 2 researchers at the University of California published a paper that changed how the internet identifies people. The paper was called Pixel Perfect, Fingerprinting Canvas in HTML5. The authors were Keaton Mowry and Hovav Shacham. They proved something nobody had bothered to test before. When your browser renders an image, that image looks slightly different on your computer than on mine. Same exact instructions, same exact pixels requested, different output. Because the rendering depends on your graphics card, your graphics drivers, your operating system, your installed fonts, even the anti-aliasing algorithm your browser uses. Mowry and Shacham invented a method where a website draws a hidden image on a canvas element, hashes the pixel data, and uses that hash as a fingerprint. 2 years later, researchers measured how many websites were actually doing this in the wild. The paper was called "The Web Never Forgets." Their finding: 5.5% of the top 100,000 websites were already using canvas fingerprinting in 2014. That number has only gone up. This is the technique that incognito mode does nothing to stop. Your graphics card is the same graphics card. Your fonts are the same fonts. Your fingerprint is the same fingerprint. Whether the tab is private or not, the canvas renders the same way every time. And canvas was just the first generation. The next layer is harder to defeat. Method number 4, WebGL Fingerprinting. Canvas fingerprinting is so common now that browsers have started adding noise to defeat it. Brave does it. Firefox does it in resistance mode. So the fingerprinting companies invented the next layer down, WebGL Fingerprinting. WebGL is the part of your browser that lets websites render 3-dimensional graphics, games, visualizations, product viewers. Every time it renders a 3D scene, the output depends on your specific GPU, not just the model, the specific chip. 2 computers running the exact same GPU model can have detectable differences in their WebGL output because of manufacturing variation. Researchers published a method called Drawn Apart in 2022 that uses WebGL exactly this way. It improved tracking persistence by 67% compared to canvas fingerprinting alone. The most popular commercial fingerprinting company in the world, Fingerprint.js Pro, claims 99.5% accuracy at identifying returning visitors, and they openly market that their fingerprints, quote, remain consistent in incognito or private mode, even after browser data is cleared. Most people who watch hacking videos never actually do anything with what they learn. They watch, they nod, they close the tab. If you want to be in the other group, the ones who open a terminal and run the commands, check out the Hacker Academy. You'll learn to build your own AI hacking agent, like a senior hacker sitting next to you giving you tips and tricks on hacking. Plus the Pro Hacker Cheat Sheet and regular fresh content drops. Link below if you want instant access. Method 5. Audio fingerprinting. This is the one that really gets interesting. This is the one that loses people. Audio fingerprinting. Your browser has something called an audio context, a piece of software inside it that processes sound. When a website asks the browser to generate a tone, the resulting waveform comes out slightly differently, depending on your operating system, your sound drivers, your CPU's floating point math. Differences too small to hear with your ears, big enough to detect when you measure the waveform precisely. Websites generate an inaudible tone. Capture the result, hash it. Use that hash as another fingerprint dimension. You never hear anything. You have no idea it happened. Your audio fingerprint is now part of your identity. This is what EFF's tool checks for in the audio context section. This is one of the strongest signals Fingerprint.js uses. This is what incognito does nothing against, because your CPU's math is your CPU's math, private tab or not. And we're not done yet. The next method skips the browser entirely. It identifies you before the website even loads. Method 6. TLS Fingerprinting. Moving beyond the browser entirely. Methods 1 through 5 live inside the browser. The browser sees them. The browser, in theory, could lie about them. So the smartest fingerprinting moved a level lower, down to the network handshake itself. When your browser connects to a website, the first thing it does is negotiate an encrypted connection. That negotiation, called the TLS handshake, has dozens of small parameters. Which encryption algorithms your browser supports, in what order it prefers them, which extensions it includes, the order of those extensions in the request. These are not configurable by you. They are baked into the binary of your browser at the version you have installed. A researcher named John Althouse published a method to extract a fingerprint from those parameters. He called it JA3. The newer version, JA4, came out in 2023. Both methods can identify your browser without any JavaScript running, before the website's content even loads. The moment your browser says hello at the encrypted layer, your fingerprint is already known. Incognito mode does nothing to your TLS handshake. A VPN does nothing to your TLS handshake. Only changing browsers changes it. And if you change browsers, you've just created a new fingerprint that lives forever. 6 down, 1 left. And the last one is the mistake that makes every defense I'm about to give you useless. Method 7. The one mistake. This is the universal error everyone makes. After all of that, after the IP, the browser fingerprint, the canvas hash, the WebGL signature, the audio fingerprint, the TLS handshake, after all 6 layers of identification, there is one more way websites know it's you. The most basic mistake of them all. You log in. You open incognito. You go to YouTube to check a video without it polluting your recommendations. And because YouTube doesn't load right when you're not signed in, you sign in. You think it's just for a minute, it's incognito, it doesn't matter. The moment you sign into that Google account, every other Google property knows the rest of your incognito session belongs to you. Search, Maps, Gmail, the video you just watched. Every page you visit through that incognito window that contains a Google tracker, and that's most pages, is now linked to your real identity. This is the universal mistake. The defense against the other 6 methods doesn't matter if you log in, because logging in is voluntarily handing the website the answer to its question. So what actually works? 5 defenses. None of them are incognito mode. The 5 defenses. 5 defenses actually work, in order of how much they protect you. 1. Tor browser, the single best defense against everything you just learned. Tor makes every Tor user look the same on purpose. Same canvas hash, same WebGL output, same fonts, same screen resolution, same audio context. Slow as molasses for normal browsing, but almost nothing identifies you uniquely. Use Tor for anything you genuinely don't want connected to you. 2. Mullvad browser, built by the Tor project and the makers of Mullvad VPN. Same anti-fingerprinting code as Tor browser, without the Tor network behind it. Faster than Tor, less anonymous than Tor, but far more anonymous than Chrome or Firefox in incognito mode. The sweet spot for everyday privacy. 3. Brave with shields up. Brave randomizes your canvas fingerprint, your WebGL fingerprint, and your audio fingerprint on every page load. Your fingerprint becomes a moving target instead of a static one. Not as strong as Tor or Mulvad, faster than both, good for daily driving. 4. Harden Firefox with the privacy.resist fingerprinting setting enabled. The setting that makes Firefox act more like Tor browser's fingerprint surface. You lose some features, you gain a lot of privacy. The setting is buried in about :config, worth the 5 minutes to find. 5. A VPN. The defense everyone reaches for first. The truth is, a VPN only hides one of the 7 methods, the IP address. It does nothing for Canvas, WebGL, Audio, TLS, or login state. A VPN is useful, it is not sufficient. If you only have a VPN, you have one defense against 7 attacks. You'll lose. And if you sign into a Google account in any of these browsers, you've just thrown away every defense above. The login state mistake beats them all. And one more last thing before we go. Incognito mode was designed in 2005 by a Microsoft engineer named Andy Ziegler for one specific use case: shopping for gifts on a shared family computer without spoiling the surprise. That's it. That's the use case. It was never meant to make you anonymous on the internet. It was meant to hide your activity from your spouse. Every time you open an incognito tab and feel a little safer, the websites you visit are using 7 different techniques to tell themselves you're the same person who was there last week. The little tab is theater. The fingerprint is the truth. The good news, you can do better than incognito. The tools above work. The defenses are real. But pretending that the little ghost icon at the top of your browser is doing anything more than hiding your search history from your roommate is the lie that lets every website on the internet identify you. The truth is they know it's you. And now you finally know how.